Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Crate Expectations. I'm here with late Sarah today. How, how Sarah was very late to the party.
Uh,
She was off partying elsewhere. So, how are you
yeah,
today, Sarah?
I'm good. I'm normally never late. I feel awful. And like, we should just clarify. I'm a full 90 minutes late.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna watch Dragon Show. I watched most of it actually, waiting,
sorry, but I'm here now, so the show can go on.
but
Great,
not but
not
not
Dragon Show.
not Dragon Show.
No.
I had to push pause for you. Not that show's been that interesting to me,
Uh,
anyways. To be honest. Now that they replaced actors, so weird. Anyways, this is not the podcast to talk about that. Me and Sarah actually
no.
talk about that show and other shows, like in the nerd space, and we talk about it on a different show, on a different podcast called The Sarah and Adam Show.
Right, because we're
So,
creative.
yeah. Well, at least we saw the problem with it if it had been the Adam and Sarah show.
Yeah.
So you
It's
guys
not.
can use your imaginations on what that would be. But yeah, so it's a SAS show, and you guys can find the link to it in the video description if you guys so desired. All of you. I almost said all y'all, but I'm really not. I couldn't pull that off.
No,
So
you couldn't.
no.
So,
So, anyways, uh, back to the matter at hand.
mhm.
You were late, but how? What are we doing today? What are we talking about?
Oh man. Uh, I guess there was like a tiny bit of news. They had the content update last week, and Jabba went live like out of nowhere. No announcement for him or anything. So he's
Oh,
here, and the relic update happened. So that's
yeah,
that's here. Yeah, oh, and I guess I don't know if we even want to touch on this, but we could. They did announce like what's going to happen with the set. They clarify what will happen with the set two materials when they dismantle. Um, so yeah, we've got that. We've got trigger photo. I think it's a pretty good one. Um, character review, viewer questions, pack review, roster roast,
yeah.
a little bit of everything.
Should we make the trigger photo a picture of you recording with someone else and me sitting watching Dragon Show?
So rude.
I'm not bitter at all. No, I'm, I'm not bitter, actually. It's fine. I've been late as well, in fact. So, yeah, guys, after we're done with this show, go to Sarah's channel. The link will be in the video description, or there will be a cool little box that you can, if you're lazy enough to watch the entire video on this channel, then you can just click it. It just appears 20 seconds before we,
Yeah.
we, we stop. So, there's no reason to just like try to like click on something else beforehand. Just watch the whole thing and then go watch her stuff, and that'll be the rest of the show will go on.
Right.
Not
Exactly.
not Dragon Show,
No.
but yeah. So, anyways, uh, there's a lot of I don't know. Uh, how do you feel about Jabba just like being plopped out there?
It
Like
felt.
it was just like they were like unwrapping like a candy,
Mhm.
and it just like unexpectedly fell out early, like it's like in a little plastic thing, and it just like fell out and like plopped into like the some water or something. It just ruined everything. It's just like, oh, well, it's out.
That's what she said.
With that
Uh,
same grimace.
well, it's weird because they made like this whole announcement about it when he was first announced, and then talking about how he was going to have like special game modes or make him utility areas in the game or whatever you want to call it. And it felt like they were kind of not necessarily hyping him up, but really emphasizing the use that he was going to have. And then he went live in game. I can't remember if I told you this or not. He went live in game last week. No announcement from CG. It's just like content update, and all of a sudden the Jabba event is there, and people can play it. And then they had that bug where you couldn't earn tickets for his event. So people were playing it because they had tickets left over from their last Dark Side Galactic Legend. And because it was so out of the blue and they didn't announce it, that my immediate thought was, I wonder if this isn't supposed to be live, and the glitch is that the event went live and that's why we can't earn tickets, because it's not actually supposed to be happening right now. And then, like, lo and behold, it was actually supposed to be happening, and it was a bug, but like they didn't even say anything. They just kind of threw it out there, like, here you go, new GL.
Here's the GL you've all been waiting for.
Right.
It's like they said it with a yawn, and everyone yawned with them. Like, well, they're releasing him at the height of, like, I'll never understand CG on this, because this is, okay, so they'll release a character, and they make the character as unflattering as possible in every single respect. It's like, hey, get hyped for the Grand Inquisitor. If you get Inquisitors, your marquee events themselves only take like 10 minutes on auto every wave. Like,
Right.
like, you want the weakest team in the world? Farm Inquisitors, you know? But now it's like, okay, like, now they're releasing Jabba, and they've done this for a lot of other characters, but I don't need to give all these examples. They're releasing Jabba at the height of Lord Vader's power, and Jabba's gonna have a real tough time against Lord Vader anyways,
Right.
even without Datacrons and stuff. He's just gonna, it's gonna be a challenge for him. And but instead it's like, hey, the only thing in Arena right now, or at least for the people who are getting Jabba this early, the people who are spending, I spend hundreds of dollars of every month on this game, and I can't even approach getting him. I'm just like, I guess I won't get him. Like, good job, you priced me out. Like, it's not even attractive to me to try. Like, I'm not even considering it. But for the people who do buy Jabba, they're in the top of Arena, and the only people they're surrounded by are Lord Vader. It's like, hey, let me try out my new GL. Oh, I got killed every time really hard. I guess I can't even show him off, or I'm gonna drop like a stone in Arena.
So I have two thoughts on that. I don't think I really thought that Jabba would be a contender against Lord Vader, like, even without Datacrons.
The power of assumption.
Well, I wasn't assuming. I just when I looked at Jabba, I was like, you don't scream PvP monster to me.
But he kills the hell out of Kenobi, who is PvP.
Sure, but I don't know. I don't know. I didn't make that direct correlation. But my other thought, though, is because of Datacrons now, no matter what they do when they release a strong character, whether it's Conquest character or a Galactic Legend or a new Legendary or whatever, they're always going to be released when a character is at, like, the height of their power.
What do you mean?
Well, they're all, like, because Datacrons are always going to be active now. So you're always going to have a character be released where the Datacron set that's out there has another character that is insanely powered.
All I'm saying is, right now, Lord Vader, there's no other alternative in Arena. I guess there are a few people who are, like, overpowering certain squads of theirs. Like, Jedi Master Luke has a decent, like, you can actually, if you're fast enough, you can make it so that Lord Vader teams don't get many turns, etc. But for the most part, like, Lord Vader is, like, the one option. And, like, Jabba has play against all the other ones. I'm not saying he's great against all of them, but he has play. He has nothing. He just dwindles. He's like a slug under salt. He just shrinks and dies. It's pathetic. And like they were like, hey, okay, so they plan all these things way in advance. It's like, how long do you think they were sitting there waiting for Lord Vader for Datacrons to come out? Like, nope, we're not gonna buff him, not gonna buff him, not gonna buff him because the second Datacrons hit, he is more than adequate. He becomes the best GL in the game.
Hmm.
So it's like they plan these things way out in advance, but they don't realize what meta it's going to be. It's just because we don't have hardly any data on Jabba because no one who has him is
Hmm.
testing him because it's like how often can you slugs are like, hey, you want to test against salt, and all the other slugs are like,
No.
no, like what do you, no.
Well, and also just such a limited number of people did get him because of his requirements not being available. Which I personally don't have a problem with. Like, whatever. I don't see that as a huge issue, but um it's such a small number of people that do have Java now that it's an even smaller pool, basically, to have somebody do testing.
Right. Well, a lot of times the people who are buying Jabba at this point, and this is no shade on the people who buy it. There's a lot of really good players who do this too. So like this isn't everyone, but a lot of the people who do this
Mhm.
do it for the cool account bling. Like they're not. I know a lot of people who have it,
Mhm.
and I'm like, they're like asking me how to gear him or how to mod him and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, you're the one who got him early, and they're like, "Well, I don't know how to play this game, basically." And I'm like, "Well,
I don't know
just
how to play this
just
game.
turn on auto mod. I don't know. Like,
Uh,
health. Just do speed and health and call it good. That's the recipe for all the GLs. But
mhm.
and honestly, I think that might be the case for him as well. But that's the thing. Like, he's just he's just out here, and it's just like, okay, thank you for being here. I
Right.
guess. You know, like he's just out, and it's like CG didn't even care. They just kind of like walked out into the middle of the city, into the middle of the city square, and everyone like expects like fanfare and announcements, and they just like kind of just drop the thing and just leave.
Right.
You know, like all right, we're abandoning this. Just I'm just gonna set this here, and I'm gone. I don't know. It just seemed weird. Whatever. I don't mind. Like, I spend hundreds of dollars on on this game a month,
Mhm.
and I can't even get job. Like, I can't get Java, and I find myself. I guess I'm okay with it. I just that also seems weird. I'm like, how many thousands have I spent on this game, and you can't even let me unlock the character a little early?
Right. It was a weird cadence, but I just don't see it being like a huge impact for people to have him already versus others.
Yeah, I mean, right now I would say yeah, like I don't. It'll impact the tippy top GAC meta, which I mean
Yeah.
that's where I'm at right now. Is the tippy top?
Yeah. So, I
Uh,
mean, let me clarify my statement. It's not a huge impact for me.
oh no, and I think you speak truth for the majority. Like my Professor X,
Hmm.
he doesn't have any Jabas in there. There's a few people who's taken screenshots. Who are like, there are four in my group, and I'm like, yeah, that seems like pretty bad RNG on your end. Like, you know, they're
Hmm.
and that they're like people who they're not at the very top. You know, they're somewhere floating around in Kyber One.
Hmm.
But you know, you get Kyber One, you kind of expect that nonsense.
Yeah, we have four in ODB, and it's people who aren't at the very top.
Yeah, some people want to get Jabba, and you know, that's cool. It just seemed weird. We don't even have to keep talking about it. He seems
Mhm.
good, honestly. Like he seems very relevant, and I think his relevance will grow. It'll expand just like him as the just as the
Uh,
territory battle scene changes. Because well, he's also dropping like at the perfectly wrong time for us to be able to use him in territory battles.
right. Yeah, it's not
Like,
going to happen until the end of the year.
I'm just saying, like, we can't even try him until
Oh yeah.
until like a month from now,
Yeah,
because
because it's light side next.
yeah, like they released him. Like, they were like, hey, They're like, when? We're like, hey, when are you gonna release Jabba? They're like, when is the next dark side territory battle over? That's
Right.
when we'll release him.
Maybe they want you to have his alt in time.
Well, that would be charitable of them, wouldn't it?
It would.
Okay, you want to talk about Datacrons and their dusting?
Yeah, and how they're going into the two different sets.
Yeah. Here,
Hmm.
let's unleash the monster, the dragon. Um, well, let's hear it. What are your thoughts on that? Because I think you and I are probably about the same, but I think the people want to hear it from you.
Okay, so at first I was super confused by this. And then I realized what would happen is if you put set all of set two into set four, you're going to create an imbalance in the sets of when the materials dismantle and when the datacrons dismantle, because you'll have two sets that have gone into one, and then set five will only have one set that's gone into it. So you're going to always have this like lopsidedness. So I can see why they did it. It still feels like I'm being cheated out of materials because you're still going to have fewer materials from set two make it into set five. And I think you said this the other day, um, that like you're putting it into set three and that set's going away in a month. So what are you going to do with those materials?
Not a damn thing.
Right. And like, this is the other thing, because I think it was on, I can't remember. I feel like I've talked about Datacrons for nonstop for like the last at least 48 hours, but um
Yay for you. You
I know,
love that.
I know, I love them so much. But somebody was talking about spending the reroll materials from set three and on their Datacrons in order to have them dismantle into set five when set three dismantles. And I was like, no, because spending your reroll materials doesn't actually do anything to the Datacron itself. Like, you're just using up your cash and spending your reroll materials. The Datacron, whether it's a level 6 or a level 9 or whatever, is still that level. It's still going to dismantle to what that rate is. And if you don't use them, like if you don't need to genuinely use those reroll materials, the unused ones dismantle anyway into the new set. So you're not losing out on anything. And I think it's a case of people just wanting to use materials because they're there and they're like, oh, but it's going to disappear. And it's like everything dismantles and goes into whatever set it's dismantling into. So it doesn't matter if it's on your Datacron or not. It's all going to dismantle. You're not going to actually lose anything.
Mm-hmm.
It just cache. Except the data cache. And like, so this is actually a really good example because I was talking to you about this yesterday where I did use.
So happy.
I was so happy about this. I used my data cache. I was at 1 million, just about 1 million. And I've realized that my BAM Datacron that I have from set 3 is it's the one where you can't kill him when he goes into his poop stance. Mm-hmm. So I don't have a way to counter Lord Vader right now because that obviously is the wrong level 9. So at your advice, you suggested that maybe I should re-roll it to try to get the cooldown one so that I can consistently take down Lord Vader.
Can I just say I was really surprised that you had even heard me when I suggested that, because you were like in such a frustrated mood about Datacrons when I had said it. Mm-hmm. Like you didn't address it at all, and I was like, I'm just gonna totally let it drop. And you were like so angry, and then you were like, hey, under your suggestion, I was like, oh, you were listening. Interesting.
I was listening. I listen, even though I'm angry. I'm still listening.
Interesting. It's good to know. So don't let her anger beguile you into a sense of security, people.
Well, so I mean,
She's
so I listened. Listening. I listened to you. I was angry. I listened to you. I did the thing, and then I got more angry.
Uh,
So
yeah, yeah, it was good.
I had a million data cache, and I have this stupid level 9 BAM Datacron, and I re-rolled it 3 times, and not a single time did this stupid cooldown ability pop up. It was, I think there was like a tenacity one for him that showed up.
Yeah, I know.
That one,
You're like, what the actual is even that?
I was
Like,
like, what?
what?
I got that one twice.
Oh, and it gets you hopes up too. You're like,
Right? I was
oh,
like, oh, it's BAM. And then I read it. I'm like, oh. And then the other option was bow. And then the second time it was 2 bow. And then the third time it was the same friggin' BAM tenacity crap. Sorry. And then bow again.
are you not allowed to say crap in Canada?
I don't know. We're on your channel. I don't know what I'm allowed to do here.
You could say, I don't want to say it. No.
but
You can say crap. I don't care.
but I re-rolled this stupid Datacron 3 times, and I went from a million data cache to 60,000. So I'm poor,
Yep.
and I still can't kill a Lord Vader.
Nope. And for nothing. I think if there's one thing, and I'm gonna just scream about this for a while, like not tonight necessarily, but like I think that's gonna be one of the things I talk about a lot on the plan later this week as well. Is just like the madness of like I've been talking to people about this. Like Prevail Man, or sorry, Professor X is he's gonna he's going all in on
Mhm.
Datacrons. And
Right.
that's I've really benefited from it really, and that it's been good. If you do it like the smart, efficient way, whatever. It's been working for me. Whether or not you like Datacrons, I don't think people can deny the impact it's had on my account. However, the the other side of the coin is, and people have been like, well, that sounds great, except I just can't roll X cron because it's the rare
Hmm.
one.
Hmm.
And it's like I can't argue that. Like, if you get screwed by RNG,
Hmm.
I like what happened to you. I mean, if you had been going for it, like kind of quote unquote when you should have, I'm not blaming you.
Right.
But like if you had gone for it during set 3, I think you would have had a much better chance of getting it. However, like some people just didn't get it. Some people can't get it. I rolled like last night finally after I must have been about 13 total rerolls. I finally got the TIE Fighter pilot bonus one.
The one that I
Like,
have.
yeah, that you got the first try on the
Right.
first try. Yeah, it took me like I had never at any point at all seen it. Like I was
Mhm.
like, okay, I want Lord Vader first. I want Darth Vader after that. I was going for other ones, but even on those, I couldn't get the TIE Pilot one.
Hmm.
And it's like that one wasn't going to be a deal breaker for me anyways. If I couldn't get it, well, bummer. But some of them, it's like if I don't get this, I can't compete. And CG's like, we'll spend some more money. You can get it eventually. Like, I think that is the most broken, stupid thing. Like, I think that you should just be able to choose. They're like, hey, spend enough on rerolls and you can just choose after a minute.
Right. And so like, and this is the kind of thing, because like, how I feel about data crimes. And I fully had a conversation with you a few days ago where I was like, you know what? I'm going to put my big girl pants on, and I'm going to be an adult about this. I'm going to stop complaining, and I'm going to try to like actively get the bare minimum of what I need, which is
Yeah.
why I was like, this is what and I think part of the reason why I didn't re-roll that BAM Datacron during set 3 is because I was still able to kill Lord Vader. I didn't have a
Mm,
problem killing Lord Vader, so I didn't see the need to re-roll it. And
sure.
I was like, well, I'll just keep this one. Um, and
Makes sense.
now I'm like, I already am soured on Datacrons. I'm trying not to be,
Oh
but
no,
I but I already am.
yeah,
And in my trying not to be, you just rub salt in my wounds some more.
I did.
Well, CG did.
Oh, are we just gonna? Is this like let I don't
what
know, one
what
of
I
those
would
crazy reality shows? Like, is
no.
someone gonna walk in with a chair and hit me or something? I don't know.
What I would like to see, because you have the options for all the different characters once you hit level 9. I think it would be nice when it rolls at level 9, instead of just giving you the character as like one shot, roll 3 options of 3 different characters, regardless of what one it is. And if you know which character you want it to be for, you can choose that one. And then when you re-roll, it only rolls for that character. I think that would be a nicer change for them. So you're not guaranteed to get the exact one you want. You might still have to re-roll it, but then at least you're not re-rolling 3 times and getting bow and tenacity every friggin' time.
I think you should be able to be like CG should have a thing. I think the way you say it sounds like idealized and nice. I think I'd be okay with a little rougher version, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd be okay with like, okay, so you read, they're like, hey, you just re-rolled like 3 times in a row, and like clearly you're not getting the character you want. Okay, you spent enough materials, now you get to choose. Like,
Right.
you've re-rolled 3 times. On the third or the fourth time you purchase a re-roll, you get to select which character, which cron you want at that level.
Right. And it's still going to be a case of being selective with your reroll mats if they were to do
Yeah.
it that way, because the reroll mats, especially now, the level 9 ones only being available in Territory War, you have a limited amount that you can reroll. So
Yeah.
you might not even get to that point without spending money.
Oh, you're right. All right, we got to switch to a trigger photo here,
All right.
Sarah. Sorry to say, our hatred of Datacrons will have to wait for next week.
That wasn't the trigger part. I should have taken a trigger video of me re-rolling the stupid data run. Anyway.
I wish you had. All right, so we've got the sad BB-8. We're not going to scroll through all of them. So I actually have 2 today. I couldn't choose between them. I just
Oh,
couldn't.
you
So,
couldn't?
no. All right, so Ray Rock, my friend,
Mm-hmm.
what the hell is going on with your Night Sisters?
This is baffling to me.
I feel like I want to do a roster roast on you just for this. Like, we should do an unsolicited one. Just like go and roast someone's roster.
He actually did post his roster recently,
Oh,
so
all
we
right. We'll
could.
have to do that. Okay, here's the thing about this that I hate. It's not. I don't care if you don't want to invest in Night Sisters. That's. I mean, if you don't want to play them, whatever. You could easily get the first 3 sections of the assault battle just easily, and you get all of the rewards for it, and you just accumulate that. If you wanted to, if you wanted to be, you know, but instead, you're just missing out on all the rewards too. Like, I don't
Right.
care if you care about Night Sisters, because like they're pretty take 'em or leave 'em at this stage. I mean, they're very useful, but I guess we're also covering he's a GP of 8 million.
Right.
And anyways, this just triggers me. Maybe it's not even Ray Rock who's doing it. Maybe this is just someone else. But this is very triggering.
I thought he said they were his.
Okay, yeah, I think so too. But then all like, and I don't even care. Like, just keep saving up your shard shop currency. I guess. Like, I don't know. It's hard to take someone seriously on this.
It's hard because like you said, you're missing out on all those rewards from the assault battle. But like my Night Sisters aren't even that good. Like I
Hmm.
think I have only actually I don't even know who I have at Relics. I think it's Asajj and Daka now. But I didn't have Daka for like the longest time. I only took Daka to Relics because you yelled at me. And then
Good, good.
but like they're just so helpful to have in your back pocket. Like I've used them to clean up things before where I'm like, I don't have something that's good here or ideal here. I'm like, well, I'll just use my Night Sisters and they'll at least kill something.
That's fair. Hey, so how about this for triggering? I'm not showing you guys the second photo because we're out of time. We're gonna go to Sarah's channel, and we'll see you guys over there. So, go click on the link. Goodbye.